Hey guys, welcome to the One Delightful Podcast,
where we believe life should be simple.
but awesome. I'm Katie.
And I'm Philip, and we invite you to join us on a journey as we try to start a new business and grow our family.
While trying to clear through the clutter of life to create space for what really matters.
And trust us, if we can do it,
Anyone can do it.
on today's show,
We're going to start an experiment called Can a Person Become a Morning Person?
and as always, we will do What Do You Recommend?
So this week's show is unofficially sponsored by Amazon.
Amazon is sponsoring us?
We've made it to the big
We
time.
have hit the big time.
So, in our show notes, you can find a link to our affiliate site through Amazon. And so, to no additional cost to you, you can use our affiliate link, shop for whatever you're shopping for. We're going to highlight one of our favorite items that you purchased, but don't worry, we don't know who you are. So, if you have to buy something really weird, like, I don't know, what would be weird to buy on Amazon?
Oh, I can think of so many things that would get me into so much trouble if I said them.
Can you think of anything clean?
I mean, petroleum jelly?
That's random.
I know.
Okay. And I would say the thing that I'm going to highlight is kind of random, but you can use our affiliate link, no extra charge to you, whatever you're shopping for on Amazon. It supports our show in a small way, and we would really appreciate it.
That's right. Okay, so what item are you going to highlight this week that someone bought with our affiliate link?
So my favorite item was the Braun ear thermometer replacement caps.
For like a child or an adult?
That's right.
Or an elephant? Like maybe a small animal?
Maybe it's for their dog.
Well, it's nice to know that you could get replacement medical supplies on Amazon too.
Yeah, so we won't know who you are, but it's a small way you can support our podcast.
All right, on today's show, we're going to get right down to business.
So this was my idea to talk about this week, and I think Philip was a little bit surprised.
I am beaming, so excited to see if this can work.
Okay, so we have two little kids, 4 and 7, which don't feel as little anymore, but their school schedule forces us to have a pretty early start. And the conundrum that we've run into is I, Katie, am not a morning person.
Really? You're not a morning person?
I would say before we had kids, I didn't think I wasn't a morning person, but now I realize when I have to do a bunch of activity in the morning, I am just groggy for a long time. So the way we had kind of curbed that in the past was Philip had more taken mornings on, right?
That's right.
But our start was more like 9 a.m. a lot of times, or, preschool, right?
Right.
And this year we're on a much earlier schedule.
Which means that our son gets on the bus around 7:15 and our
Right.
daughter has to go to school around 7:45.
And I don't want to not see them all day,
And so they've got to be up by 6:30 to make
Yeah.
that happen.
which isn't hard for them.
And it's not hard for me either, really, because I am just sort of more naturally a morning person.
Yeah,
What's
so-
hard for me is 10 o'clock at night when I start to fall asleep, when
Yeah.
you'd like to hang out.
Right. So the experiment that I am initiating that I said I would like to do is I was complaining to Philip again for maybe the third time this semester already. It's October if you're listening to this 5 years from now. It's October 2018. And
If you're listening to this in the future, all is well in October of 2018,
So
within reason.
I was venting to you, Philip, kind of just saying, oh, I wish, because I want the mornings to be good. I don't want it to be just, I think there's ways that the mornings could be better, even though I don't feel like a morning person.
Sure. Well, why don't you should probably describe to the people. So what does a typical morning look like for you? What does it look like and what's hard?
So up until recently, a typical morning looked like for me, Philip would come in, he would have already been awake, and he'd bring me a cup of coffee to my bedside. And I would just kind of like notice that it's there and not drink it for maybe 20 minutes and keep sleeping.
Oh, is that what happened that whole time?
Sometimes I got
I
up.
thought you were having a quiet time.
No, sometimes I got up, but sometimes I just laid there. And the hope was that I could have like some time to wake up and maybe do like a devotional journal, pray, have some quiet time alone before the kids, start meeting me with all their demands. So that was the idea. And then, our kids, and I've usually packed Carter's lunch the night before. Philip does Judah's lunch. So we've got to get backpacks packed, kids dressed. And I would say Judah is amazing with the morning routine. He's 7 and he's really on top of things. Our daughter Carter, it's like I've laid out clothes for her and she's like, watch me put them on. Like, it's just the most absurd request because you're 4 and you've got great fine motor and you're able to put these clothes on, but you just want someone to like be with you. She doesn't want to be alone.
So it's
Right?
a little hard for Carter to get ready, but I don't think that that's what is hard for you in the morning.
Well, there's also stuff like you've already fed the kids breakfast, so I'm a total diva. But then if I come downstairs, they're like, I'm still hungry. Like, I want another breakfast. What's hard for me?
Yeah, I think so. Because for you, all of that stuff happens. Here's the problem. Part of the problem is
I'm just a selfish person.
I am part of the problem because mornings just aren't an issue at all for me. I'll get up at 5:30 or 6 every day. And so for me, the kids come down and they're, groggy, want breakfast. And I've been up already. I make them breakfast. They eat breakfast. They go upstairs and get ready. They complain a little bit. But, I sort of like make Judah's lunch and get him out the door. And it's not a big deal. But it's a lot different scenario for you. And I'm some of the problem of you feeling like this is an awful situation because I don't really understand why it's so hard for you.
Right. You're just unaffected. I feel like I get affected by the kids. So when they say I'm hungry, then I feel bad that I'm not meeting their needs. And you've already offered them something and they've said no to it. So you can feel like, oh, I offered you,
An array
grapes
of
or
breakfast
whatever.
options to
Yeah,
make
right.
sure that food doesn't spoil or go bad. And if you don't want to eat it, that's sort of your deal, you know?
So what did you want me to talk more? I don't know what my issue is. I just know that in that morning time frame, I'm tired. I want to ease into my day and I don't want anyone to like ask me to do anything. And I'd prefer to not be active. I'd like to just sit still. Don't hold in your laughter.
I don't know what to say to that. That would be nice for everyone probably, but it's not realistic.
Right. So that's my ideal situation, especially if I have to get up at an early hour. And I understand that that is not possible right now, right? Unless I'm going to get up earlier than the kids.
Yeah. And so I think for me, I have a hard time listening to this because one, it's not an issue for me. And
Right.
two, I'm like, I do basically like everything in the morning. So I don't understand why it's hard to like get up for you.
Yeah. It's just hard for me to get up. I like a certain amount of sleep.
But at the same time, I do understand that some people are morning people and some people are night people. And for someone that's a night person, mornings are just hard.
Right.
Because I think you need more sleep than I do. I think that it's just harder for you to wake up than it is for me to wake up. And so it's not like just hey, why can't you just do, like, there's some issues that cause mornings to be hard for you. But at the same time, there's a lot of benefits to like being up in the morning, right?
Right. And that was one thing we were chatting about is we've both read some of Gretchen Rubin stuff. And she would say that, like you said, that people have like a tendency towards one or the other. Although I did have some people say they're more of midday people, which is weird to me. But I wouldn't say I'm like a true night owl, right? You think I am?
No, I don't really know. I know the mornings are really hard for you.
Okay. So you tend towards one or the other, like a lark, a morning person, or a night owl. And it's kind of set in stone, and you know which one you bend towards. And then our society, the way things are in the US right now, really favors the morning person. You know,
Why is that?
well, it's not like, oh, like you'd
I
be
was
like,
wondering why I got that last promotion.
yeah, like it's because I slept in all day, you know? Or it's like you perceive people that are like need a lot of sleep as lazy, or that sleep in as lazy. It's the only flaw with you going to bed early is that makes you kind of lame.
Oh, not me specifically.
No,
people
specific you. You.
and I'm just sort of okay with that.
I know, you're okay with it. So it's not that big of a deal for you because you're like, oh, I'm a parent. It's cool. I go to bed early.
Yeah,
It's not like,
I'm a cool dad.
but me, it's like not being a morning person. It's like, well, if I don't get up, then I don't see my kids all day. And I'm frustrated with them, and I don't want to send them out the door where I'm kind of grouchy. So
where you've landed
where we've
is,
landed is I would like to start an experiment on myself where I am going to try to become a morning person / enjoy the mornings and not. I just feel like recently it's felt like a chicken with its head cut off in the morning type situation where I've prepared a couple things. Like, it's not like I'm going into the morning like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Hey, look at me. I don't really understand who you were imitating.
Well, I'm not going all willy-nilly into the day with like no agenda. I do like lists. I've usually done a task or two to set myself up for the mornings, but then there just are so many tasks that it could go, you know. Like if you
So
don't
there
know
are
it's
not-
raining and you can't find the rain jacket, or you can't find like the left shoe, and then you're like, well, I did everything right. I like set out their clothes. I had their lunch made, but like,
It seems like it's very difficult for you to not be incredibly stressed whenever you leave to do anything. And this
That
might be a
might be
contributing
right-ish.
factor to it.
maybe it's the homebody in me.
I don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
But, okay,
Maybe it's the control freak.
But
in
I
me.
think going back to it, there's some stuff where our society favors someone being a morning person. Like get up, get going, get to work, get stuff done. I mean, I think there's some stuff with the Keystone Habit thing we talked about a while ago where if you start off on the right foot, you start off well with like a few successes, that's going to help you be on the right track for the rest of the day.
Right.
So there's like one side of it, which, I mean, I think that's good stuff, but that could be like a societal thing. But I think for you, it's more like you don't want to be stressed when you leave the house. You'd like time with kids in the morning. You'd like time to collect yourself in the morning. So you're not, it's not just like you want to become a morning person because you think that's right. It's like
Right.
you're not satisfied with how stuff's going. And there's a
Yes.
question of like, is it even possible to become a
Yes.
morning person or to not be a morning person, but be able to do this successfully?
Yeah, and like thrive, not survive the mornings. So I asked this on Instagram. I asked if anybody was a morning person or wasn't a morning person, and if like what were your tips for somebody that didn't feel like a morning person. And I had a lot of people say stuff like coffee, nothing helps. Like, you know what I mean?
All
Like,
hope is lost, which I don't know. I mean,
well, yeah, but I do think how it's easy to feel in a rut and feel like, because the kids have been in school for almost 2 months now, whatever, close to it. And it's kind of felt like this a lot of mornings, a little bit chaotic. And so I think I'm just more like, I'm not satisfied with it feeling chaotic. I would like to figure out how to enjoy the mornings a little bit more. And you know, some of this might be because nights have been hard too with Carter, our daughter is scared a lot and just doesn't want to go to bed.
It's like a mix of half scared, half she knows she can use fear as something to manipulate us into getting what she wants.
Well, anyways.
So I think there's a level of fear, but I also think there's a level of, if I say I'm scared, I'm going to get whatever I want.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell all her personal stuff, but
Carter, if you're listening as a teenager, we were on to you when you were 4.
No, but bedtimes I think have been a little bit stressful because I feel like we put the kids to bed and then for the next like 45 minutes, it's putting her to bed again and up and down the stairs. I mean, I'm getting like more steps in.
You did hit your step goal yesterday. Congrats to you for that. Kudos.
But yeah, so so that it's like the end of the day feels a little bit stressful with her and then the start of the day feels stressful. So I would like it to be better. So should I share what I'm going to try?
I think so.
Why not?
No, I think that it's good.
Okay,
I want
so
you to be a morning person. You want you to be a morning person. But the question is, is this possible?
Okay.
Is this change possible?
I'm probably going to try a lot of different things, but the things at least that jumped out at me that I either read from articles or had people PM me were, one is the nighttime piece, like preparing for the next day. So I will continue laying out clothes and trying to make lunches ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're already on point with the coffee, so that's fine. And I actually think that, no, I'm going to stick with my nighttime thing and then I'll cycle to the morning. But people were talking about how a good nighttime sleep is so much of it too. So I am going to, I don't know if you noticed this, I already moved the plug in the bedroom.
I did see that for your cell phone.
Yeah, so my cell phone is no longer right by the bed. So if I have trouble falling asleep, I'm not going to have that as a temptation to just, look at my phone for
blue light. Just zapping
for 20, I was going to say 20 more minutes, but usually it's like another hour that you lose. So I moved my cell phone away from the bed. In the morning, instead of having a cup of coffee initially, I'm going to have a full glass of water with lemon.
I mean, you are 70% water.
Because I've heard there's a book called Miracle Mornings. I can put a link to it. I haven't read it, but I would like to look at it. But it was not at our library, and I don't know if I want to buy it. But I'll put the link to it if you want to buy it.
Is to start the day reading a chapter of this book.
But one of his things is full glass of water at the start of the day is really good.
I've heard that too.
Yeah,
that drinking
and then the
a glass of water is
good
something
too.
that can give you energy because you are part water, and so I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Replenishing that is almost like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
When being dehydrated can lead to feeling tired and lethargic.
Yeah.
And so a glass of like ice water actually helps to jumpstart your system.
Interesting.
Some people would say before they do a stressful job or activity,
Right.
go speak, they'll drink like a glass of water and it gives them energy to go.
Well, and I know some people are like, oh, warm glass of water with lemon and cayenne. Like, there's lots of things you could do. I'm going to just try and keep it simple that if at least I get in a glass of water, ideally with some lemon. Then,
what about some seasonal pumpkin spice?
well, that can go in my coffee. But part of that was I think I love coffee so much. Once I start drinking it in the morning, I don't want to stop.
You don't want to stop and go to water.
Yes, I don't want to go back to water.
You gotta do water first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if I want to read, have a quiet time, whatever in the morning, I have my stuff set up for it. Okay. So that's my other thing. And okay, this thing is really small, but I know some people say do a little bit of exercise in the morning, but I'm at least going to walk downstairs and get my cup of coffee or cup of water. That's my exercise.
So I need to stop bringing you coffee.
Yeah, you already have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I did it subconsciously.
Okay.
Knowing that you were trying to implement this plan. So what, you're on like day
3, 2,
day 3? Okay.
maybe day 2.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
So, but I think at least the walk downs, I'm not all about exercise in the morning. That's not what I want to do.
But it jump starts you. If you have to do something to get out of bed,
right.
tackle a flight of stairs.
And some people also said get dressed. I'm not a big fan of that because I just want to be in my pajamas as long as possible. But I have tried to do something small, like if I'm going to exercise that day, I'll start to get dressed. I'll like put on my like workout pants.
I put on a hat immediately upon waking.
So that's my few things. So it's the move the phone, glass of water, have things set out that I need for the next day immediately, and my walk downstairs. And I might accompany a little bit of stretching with a walk.
Hey, but here's the thing, though, because you're laughing a little bit, I think, because you're like, well, these are real small things.
Right.
But I think it goes back to what we talked about with prioritizing priorities, where if you had a list of 10 things that were all really hard, I'm going to start getting up at 5 so that I have an hour to myself before the kids start to wake up. If you try to do big, hard things, it would probably be near impossible for you to be successful at them because it's hard to make big, hard changes. So starting small, I mean, I think here's the thing that helped me start getting up really early. It was making the coffee at night because there was literally something in my head where I woke up and I knew, the coffee is made already. I really want a cup of coffee. And that gave me that little extra push to get downstairs.
That didn't do anything for me because I one day woke up too early by accident and went back to sleep. Which really I got good at postpartum. I wasn't good at this before we had kids, which is why I think the kid thing really threw me into a true not morning person. But I could smell the coffee brewing at like 5:30 or whatever you have it set to, and I was like, going back to bed. But
well, to each his own.
I was gonna say, and my goal is 6 a.m. So our kids are kind of up and going at 6:30.
Yeah.
So I feel like half an hour is not crazy enough of a change that maybe I can pull it off. So, and then I'm setting a daily alarm on my Fitbit. So that's my plan.
All right. I like starting small.
Yeah.
And I think you can do it, which that is something that I think that needs to be the change on my part. Because again, I feel like when it's something that you're good at, it's hard to be understanding and sympathetic and encouraging towards someone who's not as good at it, because you're like, why don't you get what I get, kind of thing.
Right.
And I think that puts you at a deficit because sometimes I cannot be sympathetic, and that makes it even harder for you to want to do it. So I think my change needs to be encouraging you when you do stuff well.
Right. And don't lord it over me if I don't.
Can't I lord it just like a tiny bit?
Yeah, because part of the reason this all kind of made us argue about this on, I don't know, Tuesday morning was I was kind of just cluelessly saying to Philip, I really want the mornings to be better, yada, yada. And Philip was kind of like, you've been saying this for like months and you haven't changed anything. And for me, I was like, I'm never going to change. You don't think I'm going to change.
So now we're going to see if you're going to change.
Yeah, so we'll see. Okay, so we will let you guys know, and we will link up any of those things we just mentioned.
All right, and the internet will hold us accountable starting now. We're going to end today's show with What Do You Recommend, where we make a recommendation of something that we like in the world. Katie, what do you recommend this week?
So I have had a Fitbit since after Christmas.
Post-Christmas.
You got one for Christmas, and then I was like, I'd really want one.
It was like a Christmas present to yourself.
You always get a little Christmas money, maybe. So I felt like I had permission to get it. And I actually really like it. And part of the reason we decided on Fitbits rather than a lot of people have like a Apple Watch or something like that was we didn't want to be super connected right? You more went with a Fitbit because you wanted a watch, and that was the bottom line.
I just wanted to watch. I'm a little bit nervous about all the connectivity, but the Fitbit doesn't have, like, you can't check your email.
We kind of like that it's basic. Is that the right word? I mean,
but not basic in like the hip way of saying basic, like it's a bad thing.
It's so basic. So, no, basic. Okay. I don't know if I think basic's bad or not.
Basic can be a negative word meaning, oh, you're like not cool, dude.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
I know that people throw around the word basic, but I feel like it's kind of a joke.
10th grader who defined it for me. I just can't remember the exact definition right now.
But people joke about being basic. Anyways, we liked that it had some features, but it wasn't so many features that it would make us want to like obsessively be on it.
So what model do you have?
So I have an Ulta, and I got the gold because I really like the look of the gold. But the thing that I like is it includes, I have it set so I get text messages and I get phone calls. I can't answer either of those things on my phone, but it's nice because you can just glance at it to see, oh, this isn't something I need to deal with.
And you love the steps.
And then I really do feel encouraged by the steps because I noticed when my battery ran out and I didn't have my charger this weekend that I really missed like just kind of knowing how active I've been that day.
And mine has a calming breathing exercise you can do.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that. But so I like all that. And then recently they made some updates and added some features like tracking some things with women's health, etc. Maybe all people's health, but
I see.
Super helpful.
I read between the lines there.
I think it was not having it the past weekend that made me realize how much I'm liking the Fitbit.
I see.
All right. So Philip, what do you recommend? Okay.
My recommendation this week is a television program that I found on Netflix that you don't like, but
Did you already recommend this?
I don't think that I have.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
There are not many shows that make me laugh out loud. Most of the time I sort of have to give a forced laugh to say, oh yeah, I think that that's funny. Just not funny enough to make me actually laugh.
Right.
But former SNL cast member, host of Weekend Update when I was in high school, Norm Macdonald, has a offbeat talk show on Netflix that just came out called Norm Macdonald Has a Show. And it makes me laugh out loud. I have loved sneaking in episodes when you're out of the house and watching it.
Or when I'm doing laps up and downstairs at the end of the day with the kids.
When you're a frenzy of activity, I like to just cool out and watch a few minutes of it. But I like it because he interviews people that I think are interesting, like David Letterman. He even has M. Night Shyamalan on there.
And it's on Netflix, isn't it?
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Netflix is doing everything.
But it is very off the cuff. It's very strange humor, which I really like.
As you can tell from our previous recommendation of, what was that weird show that we recommended?
Oh, Portlandia.
Yeah.
Which I'd still watch.
Also weird.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have an odd sense of humor and want something that'll make you laugh and a little bit nostalgic, because I feel like Norm Macdonald of Dirty Work fame makes me a little bit nostalgic, I would recommend Norm Macdonald Has a Show on Netflix.
Awesome. Sounds good.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of One Delightful Podcast.
And we'd love to connect, so look us up on Instagram, One Delightful Shop, or our website, onedelightfulshop.com. Or if you have a question or comment, you can also email us, also at onedelightfulshop@gmail.com.
I'm sensing a theme. To get links to anything that we talked about today, make sure you check the show notes out.
Yes, and that includes that affiliate link that we mentioned earlier, because we'd love to share about the weird thing that you bought.
The next time you need ear thermometer covers, use our link.
And while you're at it, if you just want to take like 5 seconds and just give us a quick review if you like what you're hearing, it really helps us and other people to find the show.